Well, howdy there, folks, and welcome into today's video. Hope you guys are having a great day out there as always. So today we're going to talk about something I've been honestly wanting to talk about for weeks now. It's been weeks, literally. I've been thinking about making this video, and finally I'm like, let's go ahead and do this, baby, because we've got to talk, okay? There's a big problem going on in the stock market right now, and I want to explain in detail exactly what is going on here, so you don't fall into this trap that's basically going on in the stock market. It's been going on the last, I would say, it's gotten really, really bad the last month or two, okay? And just gotten to levels that are just quite ridiculous, okay? And every once in a while, I need to come out and speak on one of these subjects when I see something going on in the stock market, and I'm like, man, I could either like bite my lip or, hold my tongue or whatever they call it, right? Or I can go ahead and speak up about it, right? And I do this from time to time in different markets. So I hope you guys appreciate this. I hope you respect the fact that I'm going to get into this today in what I call a big problem that's going on in the stock market. And it's going to end, pretty badly in the end, okay? And yeah, all I ask is that you guys smash as always. So sometimes I have to come out and I'll talk about, how the market's too optimistic at a given time, right? Not the issue we're getting into today, actually, right? But there's definitely time periods when I've seen the stock market get far too optimistic, right? And being in my position where I have several big YouTube channels, right? I have the Stock Hub community, right, on Discord. I have my private stock group, all those sorts of things, right? I get a real good gauge of like how investors are feeling at a certain time, right? And sometimes there's just way too much optimism in the market. Everybody's like trying to play the next call option, right? Everybody's margining money out like crazy, right? And, everything's like just euphoric. And sometimes you get those sorts of markets, right? We can definitely say, we felt that at the beginning of 2021, right? We came off that beautiful year in 2020 in terms of at least the stock market performance, right? After March, the stock market had one of the best bull runs, at least in modern history. Like that was incredible, right? And there was a lot of money made. And that led into January and February, and it led into this crazy amount of optimism, right? And there was just a vibe at that time. And, I obviously, made a video or two kind of speaking about how it was just overly optimistic, right? And sometimes I'll come out and I'll speak about how the market's too pessimistic, right? Sometimes we get into these markets where things are just kind of down and out and everybody's just feeling bad. And it's like, sometimes you just got to remember the long-term vision and remember where the stock market goes, right? And where does the stock market go most of the time? Up, right? Where do most great companies go most years? Up, right? And so sometimes I have to bring it back to, kind of kill off this pessimism, okay? But that's not the issue we have right now, okay? We have much deeper issues than that, right? There used to be a time in the stock market, right? I'm talking about on the internet, in the communities, right? Where in order to get respect, you had to give a great fundamental thesis around a company, right? And in order to get that respect over time, you had to have some stocks that were winners, right? And you had to prove yourself out, right? And that got you respect. Whether we're talking in online forums, whether we're talking in YouTube videos, right? Or whatever it is, right? You put in that work. You gave, folks everything you had as far as the fundamentals and why this company is undervalued and looking at all these different metrics and things like that, right? And you go into the business and here's why I think, this is going to happen this way and this is why, I think they're going to have revenue growth of this, right? And, I don't even want to talk about myself for a minute. I've seen a lot of good YouTubers do things like this, right? Galileo at Hyperchange, ton of respect for that guy. He used to make, some great Tesla videos back in the day, man. Go super in depth in a time period where there were not a lot of people talking about Tesla stock, right? There was a few of us and that was about it, right? And he would go into these 20-minute, 30-minute presentations around Tesla stock and how, where he saw numbers going and why he saw the numbers going there, right? And the valuations and what that could mean for EBITDA over time and all these sorts of things, right? It was beautiful, and the technology. And, that was the type of thing that I really respected, right? That you're going to earn my respect by doing stuff like that, right? I've definitely seen, gentleman Tom Nash, he's, super bullish on Palantir. I've really enjoyed some of the Tom Nash, Palantir videos, right? And whether he's right or wrong about Palantir, I just appreciate the fact that he's going super in depth at these numbers and looking at it and, talking about in-depth stuff that's not, people aren't even looking at, right? And that wins me, I give people like that a lot of respect. But what we have in the stock market right now, in the stock market communities, it's not who's really getting the respect right now. That's not who's getting the views. That's not who's getting the money. That's not who's getting the respect right now. It's just not like that at all. Who's really running it up in the forums right now, in the videos, on the blogs, everything like that? Who's really running it up? Right now, it is the Pummmppp Boys! The Pummmppp Boys! Yes, the term has been coined here today, and it is forever set in stone. The Pummmppp Boys are in full effect, okay? What is a Pummmppp Boy? A Pummmppp Boy is an individual, right, that they don't go into the fundamentals. They don't go into the valuation. The Pummmppp Boys, they don't even know how to go into the fundamentals. They don't even know how to go into valuations of companies, right? They don't even know where to start with that. The Pummmppp Boys are there to get you pumped up. And they're there to, talk gibberish around a bunch of nonsense that really doesn't mean anything, but get you all jacked up. They're there to tell you things like don't sell. They're there to tell you things like buy more of this stock, right? Over and over, without going into the fundamentals, without going into the valuations. The Pummmppp Boys are in full effect, and they have taken over the internet right now. Now, the Pummmppp Boys won't last forever. We know this, right? But you cannot deny that the Pummmppp Boys are in full control right now, okay? There's no debating that. If you look at the posts that are getting the most engagement, if you look at the videos that are getting the most engagement, it's a whole lot of nonsense. Pump it up. Remember that one song? I don't know. Was that Joe Budden back in the day? Pump it up. That's exactly what it is right now. And these folks have full control over this market. These folks have full control over the internet right now, right? And they're there just to pump you up. And they're the ones that are really doing the numbers right now, getting the attention. And they're the ones that people are really following right now. Because these guys get you excited. Like, oh man, yeah, the stock's going to the moon. And make sure you don't sell. Oh guys, we got to hold strong. Make sure you hold. Man, I tell you what. You want to hear the most dangerous things when somebody's telling you you need to hold this stock. And don't sell. Please don't sell. Just please don't sell this stock, okay? When you hear stuff like that, woo-wee, you better be getting scared, okay? You better be running for the fences, okay? I don't ever remember, watching a Hyperchange Galileo video guy I got a ton of respect, and him being like, guys, please don't sell Tesla stock. Don't sell Tesla stock. We got to hold strong. I don't ever remember him saying that. I don't ever remember Tom Nash saying stuff like that in Palantir. I don't ever remember personally doing that in any of my 1,000+ videos on the internet where I go into bullish theses on companies. And I'm like, guys, please go buy this. Don't sell. We got to hold strong on this stock, guys. Like, man, oh boy, activity like that. Woo-wee, okay? But the Pummmppp Boys, they don't know better, right? And this usually happens in all walks of life, right? The Pummmppp Boys, they just don't know better. But how did we get to this place where the Pummmppp Boys have taken over everything? And how do you know the difference between a Pummmppp Boy and somebody just giving a bullish thesis on a company, right? Because you can't all of a sudden call everybody a Pummmppp Boy. If somebody gives a bullish thesis on why they love a stock, why they believe in a stock for the future, does not mean they're a Pummmppp Boy. There's big differences. But how did we get here first off, okay? Well, we got to this stage of the Pummmppp Boys because, let's be honest, after March, the stock market went on one of the sickest bull runs we've seen, right? NASDAQ, S&P 500, Dow, everything across the board, the Russell. I mean, after March of 2020, it was incredible, right? And so a lot of people made a lot of money, including some of the newer investors to the market, a la the Pummmppp Boys, okay? And so some of these Pummmppp Boys entered the market during this time, right? And have made some money. And now they think they know everything in the stock market, right? And although they're somewhat new, they don't know the rules. They don't know the regulations. They don't know, the stuff to kind of stay away from. And we've had such a huge gauntlet of people come in that they don't really know, what to stay away from in the stock market, what's scary behavior. If you're new to the stock market, you don't know that it is not normal behavior for people to be saying, go buy this stock, sell this stock now in whatever post they're doing. Guys, we got to hold strong. We got to do this. You don't know that that's not normal activity. That should not be happening, right? You don't know that it's normal for somebody to, tell you to go buy a stock, but they don't even give you a fundamental thesis around that stock, right? Think about this for a minute. If you're new to the market, you don't know that. If you've been in the market for a while, that is not normal behavior. That's not normal activity, and that's not stuff you should follow, right? I never heard Warren Buffett come out and talk like, no, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you're a successful stock picker, you can give your bullish thesis on why you believe in a company, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't need anybody. I don't need anybody to buy any of my stocks. I never have, and I never will. Because at the end of the day, Wall Street's coming to my stocks. They're all coming to buy my stocks in the end. So I don't need any individual investor. I don't need Johnny to go buy 10 shares on Robinhood. It doesn't mean a difference to me, right? But with the Pummmppp boys, they're trying to do everything they possibly can. And so when you've had this sort of activity and you had some Pummmppp boys make some money and get excited, right? And you have a lot of new investors get into the market, right? I mean, we know, Webull, Robinhood, all those brokerages and pretty much every brokerage out there grew like crazy over the past year, right? Which means a lot of new investors in the market, a lot of new folks, they don't know. They literally don't know what is pump activity and what is somebody giving a bullish thesis on why they like a stock. They don't know, okay? So this huge ramp up here in the market is part of what created the Pummmppp boys, okay? The second part of what created Pummmppp boys is what everybody witnessed in the crypto community, right? Bitcoin last year in 2020, I believe Bitcoin was at 3,000 at some point in 2020, right? And then all of a sudden it went on this crazy bull run to, 65,000, right? And what you can't get most of the time from 99% of crypto folks is, why is this cryptocurrency worth a certain valuation, right? It's not about that. Maybe 1% of the folks can give that. I mean, I've talked to folks that, are supposed to be very educated on this. And I'm like, hey, why is such and such worth da-da-da? And they're like, I can't really tell you that, to be honest. That's just not acceptable, okay? But in the stock market community, that's not acceptable. But in the crypto community, that's perfectly acceptable, right? You don't have to, whether Bitcoin's trading at $100 million or whether it's trading at $100 trillion, no one, has to make a case around why that's a fair valuation or not. That's not the way cryptocurrency community works, right? It's just about the hype and, what could it become in 5 years or 10 years, right? And so a lot of people have went ahead and adapted this same exact philosophy, but now to the stock market. And so all of a sudden they think valuation doesn't matter in the stock market. And that's where folks are going to get a rude awakening, okay? Valuation always matters in the stock market, okay? Short-term periods of time, maybe it doesn't matter, okay? But over the long term, it always matters, okay? You can't get, stocks trading at ridiculous valuations forever, right? It comes back to valuation. In the stock market, there's a million, there's thousands of good companies out there in the stock market, right? Thousands of them. But the question is, what ones are at such an attractive valuation is worth buying, right? If Amazon's an amazing business model, right? An amazing company, right? If Amazon is trading at $10 trillion today, okay? Amazon is a ripoff. I can run you through a ton of different calculations on why Amazon's a ripoff at $10 trillion, right? I can also run you through a ton of scenarios why if Amazon's trading at $1 trillion, it's a deal and a half and I should be buying that stock now, okay? But in different communities like this, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter. You just buy, right? And so it's a different mentality, but this is bled in to the stock market, and the Pummmppp boys saw what happened with crypto, and now they think the same thing applies to stock market. Short term, maybe. Long term, never, okay? It's another reason. And I think this is a big part of it, okay? Tesla, okay, stock I partake, I've obviously made a lot of money in, and is my best stock ever, right? Let's be quite honest. In 2020, this had the world's attention. I mean, everybody's talking about Tesla stock, and it was booming, right? And now everybody wants to find the next Tesla stock, right? And the thing is, back in the day when I was buying Tesla stock, and back when, Galileo was making those Tesla videos back in the day and things like that, right? The valuation on Tesla was really attractive for where the company was going in the future, right? I mean, it was at a $30-40 billion market cap, right? And you could run numbers on where Tesla was going over time, and it made sense to buy the stock, right? And then the stock trades up to 600 billion, 700 billion, 800 plus billion, and it's getting more attention than ever. This was obviously, kind of toward the beginning of this year, right? Getting more attention than ever. And, more and more money was just flooding in it, right? where that money wasn't around back, a while ago. Where was that money in 2018, 2019? It was missing, right? But then all of a sudden, at 700 billion, 800 billion, everybody's flocking in. Why? Because it had gone up a bunch. And so if people see something go up a bunch, they just want to get in on it. They're like, man, everybody's making so much money in Tesla stock. I got to get in Tesla stock too. And then they start even doing, riskier plays like call options and things like that. And it's like, man, if you want to do call options in Tesla stock at 30, 40, $50 billion market cap 2 years out or something like that, okay, I could understand that. Maybe you're banking on it going to 100 billion or 200 billion or $300 billion market cap. Okay, I can understand that. But going all in calls at 700 billion, 800 billion after the massive, crazy move the stock had, you're playing with fire, but not in the best way possible. Let's be honest, right? And so that led, I think, a lot of folks to kind of this mentality of pump it up, right? And then all of a sudden we saw everybody get on the back of Tesla, right? Tesla got so popular on YouTube that I stopped making Tesla videos because I just was like, everybody's making Tesla videos now, right? 2019, like I said, it was a few people. I remember Galileo making Tesla videos. I was making Tesla videos back 2018, 2019. And there wasn't very many folks. Let's just put it that way, right? And there were some folks that were like in the Tesla fan clubs. They would make videos, but it was not a popular thing. By the time this move happened, everyone on YouTube was talking about Tesla and Tesla and Tesla. And if they were talking about Tesla, they were talking about the other EV players. And I got so burnt out, I was like, I don't even want to talk about Tesla. And I stopped talking about Tesla, to be honest, because it just got so, I would just call it lame in the end, right? And so that happens. And that's another reason why we had the Pummmppp boys come out of nowhere. And, they just seen all this happen right in front of them, right? So how do you know the difference between a Pummmppp boy and, what's actually good talk when it comes to stocks, right? And how do you keep yourself out of becoming a Pummmppp boy? Because Pummmppp boys, they can make money in the short term. They don't make money over the long term. Well, 4 core things, okay? When you're listening to when you're reading an article, when you're reading a blog post, when you're watching a video, and somebody's giving you their thesis on why they think something can go up a bunch, right? Are they getting into these sorts of things? The fundamentals. What the fundamentals mean is the underlying business model, okay? And going into that business model, and why is this business model going to thrive in the future? What sector are they in? What industry are they in that's going to grow for the next 3, 5, 7 years, right? The actual business, what have they done recently in regards to that business that's grown that business exponentially, right? Or is going to grow that business? What are they getting into with the fundamentals, right? The financials. Are they going into the income statement at all? The balance sheet at all? A cash flow statement? Anything like that, okay? Doesn't have to be all those, but is it any of those? Is it any sort of financial related numbers? Revenue growth? Net income growth? Operating profit? Is it anything like that? Are they getting into any of the financials, or is it just one big pump fest, okay? Are they getting into valuation at all? Extremely important, okay? Or are they getting into the PE ratio and the forward PE ratio, and maybe even where they think profitability can be in a couple of years from now based upon where the company is valued at today, okay? Or a price to sales ratio? Are they getting into any of those sort of metrics and why this company deserves to trade at a steeper valuation right now than it should be at, or in 2 years from now than it should be at, or 3 years from now, okay? And why does this company's market cap deserve to double over the next 3-5 years, okay? And going into that valuation case, and it's like, here's where it's valued at, here's where the market's in general is trading at, right? Are they getting into any of that? Or is it just pump, buy, okay? Or are they getting into anything around the management team, okay? The CEO of the company. Is there any talk about that, right? And why this company, is going to thrive because of the CEO in place, right? If you're not seeing these sorts of things talked about in articles, blog posts, videos, whatever it is, be wary. That's all I'm going to say about that. Be very, very wary. And by the way, you should never ever make an investment decision based upon another person's opinion. You should always make sure you're making it based upon what you believe, okay? That's another very, very important thing, right? I'm always willing to hear somebody's bullish thesis on this stock or this stock or this stock or this stock, right? But at the end of the day, I'm going to make my own decision on that stock. I'm going to do my own research work in that stock and figure out if that's a buy for me or not, right? And so that's something you want to make sure you're doing. And yeah, man, the Pummmppp boys, They're not done yet, okay? They're not done yet. Don't count them out yet. The Pummmppp boys are there, okay? And be ready for the Pummmppp boys, okay? Because you're going to see them in the club, okay? So hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. A little bit of a different video. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. And yeah, guys, there's a big difference between, you know, seeing somebody give a bullish thesis on why they believe in a stock so much and just straight pump activity. That I will say. Much love as always, and have a great day.